You want to know what this budget deck could really use? A $350 price tag. Why is cardboard so expensive? Anyways, please hit like and subscribe. That's the only way I'm ever going to afford this deck. But I bring to you the upgraded Hero Tribals deck because I was looking at the other Hero Tribal less that people had started coming out with. Like Nerd Case list here looks pretty solid with Rapunzel and blah blah blah. Like you can look at the list yourself. So I saw this and I'm like, oh, I wonder if the Amber Sapphire version is actually a good competitive version of the list. And then I was sort of getting dissatisfied with this list. I was like, the game plan feels a little all over the place. So I ended up just sort of pivoting back to my blue steel. And I was like, wait a second, this feels really strong. Now, looking at this list, it's pretty obvious why I think this deck is so strong. You have a lot, and I mean a lot, of huge swing turns where you're often just questing for 10 lore in one turn, or even 12, 14, blah, blah, blah. Just like you get a lot of lore with this deck. And it has a lot of consistency with it and good quality characters, which you want in a tempo deck. And also, I just need to mention, look at the perfect pyramid spread. We got the 8, 12, 16, 12, 8, 4 ratio, which is theoretically a perfect tempo ratio. I don't actually know if it's theoretically perfect. There's probably some weird math behind it. But anyways, you get the idea. Like we got the perfect pyramid here. But anyways, Beast and Robin Hood were very important inclusions for this deck because Robin Hood, just a really strong hero character, and Beast, once again, very strong hero character. But more importantly, they provide more consistent sources of card draw. Robin Hood's not true card draw, he just replaces himself, but Beast is continuous card draw. If you get even one or two procs off of him, you have gone quite a lot of value off of him because the budget version kind of struggled with card draw. Basil was there for card draw as well as being a 3 lore quester, but you were forced to run things like Doc, Bold Knight, just in order to have some reload with your deck. Also, Doc's price keeps going up day by day, so I might have to invest in some more myself before he actually becomes discovered to be a really strong character. But anyways, back to Blue Steel Heroes. So with the inclusion of Beast and Robin Hood, you end up with a lot more consistent card draw, which is a big deal. Because you already had Simba in the deck and you had Basil, which are actually very good sources of card draw, but now it's really consistent, right? Like you're continuously capable of reloading your resources. And this is on top of the insane questing you're getting, which I've already talked about. But the reason why you get such insane questing is because you have so many different ways of getting there. Your first way is with an Anna Truehearted into a Shift Basil, where if you have another character on top of the shifted basil, you can just quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lore minimum in that turn, which is a big deal because all of these bodies are kind of hard to remove. Like mid range will struggle to kill off all of your characters without also having to sacrifice some of their own. And then secondly, you have the mode of Alice Growing Girl plus Link or Scrooge McDuck or Beast, where if Beast has any damage on him, he becomes a 7/5. So it becomes really easy to get Alice up to that 10 attack mark giving her the +4 lore, which once again lets you quest for 8, even maybe 10 lore in one turn, and have a bunch of characters that are really hard to kill. Like, the rest of the deck is just sort of centered around having really strong hero characters. Your early game is a little suspect with the 1-drop Basil and 2-drop Basil, but he does very good when paired with Anna Braving the Storm. And then Ling is just good with the rest of the deck. Ling supports Alice. Ling supports Donald Duck. Donald Duck gets supported by Alice and the Basil support package. Like, you just have so many options. And then Robin Hood also gets supported by, has a lot of value when supported because he gains 2 lore when he challenges. Like, do you get it? Do you see my vision? I think it's a very easy vision to see, but like it's good, right? The only thing sort of left for this deck is play testing and figuring out what's better to include, because there's definitely probably an argument to be had for including Aurora, although I'm not quite sure about that. You actually kind of dodge. So Aurora helps into specifically Amber Steel Song Choice. So if you find that that matchup is rather brutal to play into, you could definitely include her. But then the other card that you should think about is Fire the Cannons. And this is just because you can literally cut out Mickey Mouse Detective. Now, I'm saying Mickey Mouse Detective here specifically because 3 cost 1/3 with ability get gives you extra ink in your inkwell is pretty good for this deck. Like, it really likes accelerating its ink by that much with the doing it from the top of your library rather than from hand, so you can get 2 turns where you're playing out multiple characters. However, Diablo is such an omnipresent threat in the meta that just having a specific answer for him is often needed. If you were to want to actually keep Mickey Mouse, though, I would just cut around like 2 of these Basils, maybe a Scrooge, and then just go up 3. That should be consistent enough to let you dig for it and kill off Diablos. But you get the idea. Like, it's just we're not looking for scraps. We're looking for gold, right? We're not, the question isn't, is the deck good? The question is, how good is the deck? Like, I need more time to play test it, and I can definitely, I wouldn't recommend like going out and specifically buying towards this deck because Beast Tragic Hero and Robin Hood Champion of Sherwood unfortunately don't get included in many decks together. But if you are looking to just pick up some staples, I definitely recommend these two. Like, they're just 2 very quality characters. But yeah, like, there's not much else to be said about the deck. The only other thing is there's a question to be had between whether blue steel heroes or amber sapphire heroes will be better. I definitely see an argument to be had for amber sapphire. I'm just not personally familiar enough with amber sapphire to actually give an opinion on which one is better. I would be way too biased towards my own list, right? But shout out to Nerd Cave, who did end up getting a top 7 with his list. So yeah, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you see you next time. I will leave you at that. Bye.